Welcome to the Festival of Storytellers. I thank everybody that's involved with this process because we know writers need readers and writers need publishers.
Experience is not about the publisher, it is about us, the authors.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kenny Sad Papa Harmon, and I'm here this morning to talk to you about my 4 books, and they are Heritage. The sequel to Heritage is Early Years. My 3rd book is Reflections Part 1 and Reflections Part 2. Two of my books, Heritage and Reflections Part 1, have received multiple 5-star reviews. I think anyone will enjoy these books. Heritage and Reflections Part 1 have received multiple 5-star reviews. And there's also an audio book for Heritage. I bought my audio at audiobooks.com. It's very good. Timothy Moffitt, good afternoon, Kenny. Good afternoon to you, Timothy. Folks, I'd like to do something kind of fun this morning. I think it'll be fun. Hello, Julie. Julie Villalon. Good morning, Kelly. Kelly Mays. What I'd like to do this morning is play some games of trivia. And the trivia subject will be rock and roll, rhythm and blues from the golden age of rock, from the 50s and 60s. We're going to have 3 trivia questions, and the winners of these trivia questions will receive a copy of Reflections Part 1. We'll get started here in just a minute. Good morning, Elaine Butler. Now, what I need people to do is to get my email address from my website, sadpapabooks.net. sadpapabooks.net to get my email address. Hello, Eva. Eva Stinson says, sad to think this is the last day. I agree, Eva. Now, the way this is going to work on the trivia questions, there'll be 3 trivia questions, and the winners are going to receive my book, Reflections Part 1. I'll try to get those in the mail today if I can, if I've got enough time. Now, like I said, you need to go to, the winners need to go to sadpapawbooks.net. Of course, I'd like for anyone, all of you, to go to my website and have a look at the book reviews for Heritage. You can see 3 of those 5-star reviews. Okay, let's get started. The first trivia question. Elvis Presley had the most record sales from 57 to 62, 1957 to 1962. Elvis was number 1 in record sales. The trivia question is, who was number 2 in record sales between 1957 through 1962? I'll give you a little hint. There were actually 2 entities that were very close to selling the number 2 spot for records from 57 to 62. 2 entities. And if anybody wants to start taking a guess at who one of those 2 entities was, we'll see if we have a winner for our first trivia question. And if we don't get some answers going on this pretty quick, we'll go to I've got them written down here. We'll go to the second trivia question. And I guess maybe I should go with all 3 and then let you folks start researching. Some of you may actually know the answers. Okay, we're not getting any results on the first trivia question about the record sales from 57 to 62, who was number 2 behind Elvis. So let's move on to the second question. Is also about Elvis. Elvis met a young lady on a movie set in the 1960s, and that young lady was his girlfriend for more than 3 years. I believe he came close to marrying this young lady instead of Priscilla. Just my opinion. What was the name of Elvis's girlfriend that he met on the set of a movie in the 60s? And she was his girlfriend for more than 3 years. She was a famous entertainer. She's still alive, and as of a few years ago, I think she was still entertaining. Need to know the name of that young lady that was a girlfriend of Elvis. And that was in the mid-60s. And the third trivia question is, who was the famous rhythm and blues singer that died in a plane crash in December of 1967? He was one of the best rhythm and blues singers of the golden era. So those are the 3 trivia questions. Anyone that can answer one of those questions will get a copy of Reflections Part 1. Bob Montgomery, his guess is Ginger. No, I'm guessing you're talking about Ginger from Gilligan's Island, but it wasn't Ginger. Ginger was not Elvis's girlfriend. And I'll go over those again. Who was number 2 in record sales from 1957 through 1962? Who was Elvis's girlfriend in the mid-60s that he met on a movie set? Timothy Moffett, Buddy Holly. No. Buddy died in 1959. This question is concerning the death of an R&B singer that died in December of 1967. I'll give us bigger hint. I'll give some more hints as we go along here. No, Elvis married Priscilla, but it wasn't Priscilla that he met on the movie set. Okay, I'm going to give y'all a very strong hint on. No, Linda Thompson was, I think, his girlfriend at when he died. She was with him a long time, but it wasn't Linda Thompson. The R&B singer had a hit song. It was his biggest hit song, and that hit song was "Sitting on the Dock of the Bay." Sitting on the Dock of the Bay. That was the R&B singer's biggest hit. And Margaret, we got a winner. John Ocampo. John, I don't know if that's fair or not. Timothy's a winner. Otis Redding. John is with Reader's Magnet, so I don't know if that's fair or not, but I guess it is. Okay, we've got a winner. Timothy, you need to go to my website and get my email address. Send me an email, and I'll send you on the email. Give me your mailing address, and I will send you a copy of Reflections Part 1, and that will go to Timothy Moffitt. Otis Redding was killed in a plane crash December 10th, 1967. Not long after his death, his biggest song was released. It was number one, if I remember, a number one hit. Sitting on the Dock of the Bay. Very good song. Okay. You're welcome, Timothy. Just send me your address and I'll get a copy of Reflections Part 1 in the mail. Okay, we got one left. John, I need your address too. John was correct with his guess. John Ocampo, I need your address. Okay, we've got one left. One trivia question left. Who was number 2 behind Elvis in record sales from 1957 through 1962? There's 2. Two answers to that question because there were 2 entities that were very close. And I don't know if they actually know who was number 2, but there were 2 entities that were very close to being to having the record sales that were second to Elvis. Does anybody want to take a guess? Okay, I'm going to give you a couple of hints. One of the answers was a duo of singers, 2 singers, a duo. And the other was a solo artist. And the solo artist was famous for a TV series. He was on a TV series before he sold all those records, before he became a singing star. He was on a TV series. Okay, we're still not getting anybody to make any guesses. The couple were brothers. Now, I've done everything but tell you who they are. 1957 and 1962, they were brothers. Nobody's made a guess. I guess everybody's got on their iPad or something and looking for an answer. No, it wasn't Simon and Garfunkel. They were brothers. And their first names were, this has got to give it to you. Their first names were Don and Phil. Don and Phil. And the other young man was a TV star. Him, his brother, his mother, and his father were on a famous TV show. The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet was the TV show. Who was the singer? Nobody's coming up with an answer. Don and Phil. Extremely popular. The Everly Brothers, of course. The Everly Brothers. And the other answer was Ricky Nelson. Bob Montgomery, send me an email and I'll send you a book, brother. Don and Phil Everly and Ricky Nelson tied, very close. I don't think you'll find anywhere where it says one sold more records than the other. They were very close to being second to Elvis in record sales from 57 through 62. The Everly Brothers and Ricky Nelson. Okay, that's our 3 trivia questions. Now, if you folks have got some questions, I'd be glad to answer them. In the meantime, I told you earlier about the audiobook for Heritage. I'm going to play some of the audio from Heritage. It is a very good audio and it's not expensive. Timothy says, sad to know that the Everly Brothers and Ricky Nelson have been largely forgotten today. That is true. That is true, Timothy. The Everly Brothers were, okay. John Ocampo of Reader's Magnet says, I can give away his copy. So let's play another, let's come up with another trivia question. Put my little brain to go in here. And let's try this one. What was the number 1 song of 1967? What was the number 1 song on the Billboard Top 100 for 1967? See if we can get another winner. The top song, number 1 song. I'll give you a hint. It wasn't the Beatles. It was not the Beatles. It was not the Beach Boys. It was not the Rolling Stones. It wasn't Herman's Hermits. It wasn't the Dave Clark 5. It was another group. They also had a TV show, very popular TV show. Their second hit song was the number 1 song of 1967. What was the title of that song? Or you can give me the name of the group. The title of the song or the name of the group. One of my favorite songs and one of my favorite groups. The number 1 song from 1967 on the Billboard Top 100. Anybody want to make a guess? Anybody want to make a guess? Top song from 1967. Their first hit song was Last Train to Clarksville. How's that for a clue? Their first big hit, which was, I think it was number one also, but it was number one in 66. Early in 67, this song was released and it was number one. Here we go. If this is Lily Schultz, if only a short while, thank you for being our papa through past few days. You're welcome, Lily. Thanks for tuning in. And I think no, it wasn't the Turtles, Bob. That's a good guess. Nope. Lily, it wasn't Simon and Garfunkel. They had a TV show. They were excellent comedians and singers. They were great entertainers. No, it wasn't The Happening. One of the band members was named Peter Tork. That's a pretty good clue. Peter Tork. Another band member and the man that sang Last Train to Clarksville and their second song, his name is Mickey Dolenz. Mickey Dolenz. Mickey is the only remaining survivor of that group that had the number one song from 1967. Okay, let's try another one. I know the answer, but I already want a copy. Okay, Timothy, that's good going. Let's go to another trivia question. I'll give you the answer, folks. It was I'm a Believer, the Monkees. I'm a Believer, number one in 1967. Great song. Great bunch of young men. Okay, we got Eva that's come on here and said, I'm a believer. Eva, did you get that after I said well, I'm going to give Eva credit for that. Eva, go to my website and get my email, and I'll send you a copy of Reflections Part 1. Okay, we still got a few minutes left, so let's do another one. In 1964, the Beatles were introduced to America on a television show. What was the name of that television show that introduced the Beatles and began the British invasion of British rock stars? It was called the British Invasion. The Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Herman's Hermits, the Dave Clark Five, the Animals. There was a group called Them. The lead singer for Them was Van Morrison. All those groups were part of the British invasion. What was the name of the TV show that the Beatles appeared on in February of 1964? That appearance began what became known as the British invasion. And those were the best years of rock and roll and rhythm and blues, the early 60s up to 1970. And I was growing up then, a teenager. Anybody want to guess what was the TV show that the Beatles made their American debut on? Eva says, thank you, Kenny. You're welcome, Eva. What was the name of the TV show? Nobody's going to guess? Very popular TV show. Okay, nobody got that one. The Ed Sullivan Show. Very popular TV show for a long, long time. I think the Ed Sullivan Show, in one form or another, was on TV from 1948 to 1970, I believe, or 71. Long time. Okay. I think we got time to do another trivia question. This one will be easier. Name one of the two most popular TV shows from 1962 through 1964. There were two very popular. They were 1 and 2. Name either of those TV shows. Early to the mid 60s, 62 to 64, 65, somewhere in there. Either one. The name of either one of the top 2 TV programs back in the day. One was a comedy, and one was a Western. A Western and a comedy about a family. The Beverly Hillbillies, we have a winner. Annie. Sorry, Annie, I can't pronounce. Quillette. Annie Quillette. Got it right. The other one, Bonanza. Bonanza was my grandpa's. That's a good guess, Robin. Robin Kaufman says the Dick Van Dyke Show. The Dick Van Dyke Show was very popular, but it wasn't one of the 2 most popular. Bonanza was my grandpa's favorite TV show. I remember watching that with Grandpa. Okay, we've got 3 winners. Carla Welch. All I can remember is the Beverly Hillbillies. That was it, Carla. You're just a little bit late. But that was one of the correct answers, the Beverly Hillbillies or Bonanza. So, the winners, please send me an email. If I get your email today, I'll try to get your book in the mail. And I believe Reflections Part 1. On the left, that's me in 1967, standing next to my 65 Impala SS 396. Best looking car ever owned. Okay, while we've got time, I'm going to play a little bit of this audiobook. And like I said, you guys that were the winners, remembering all these names is giving me a lot of nostalgia. You got that right, Timothy. I get a lot of nostalgia writing history books. You're welcome, Annie. Like I said, the winners go to my website, sadpapawbooks.net, and get my email. Send me an email. I'll get your address off of that email, and I will mail you a book, hopefully today. Here we got JP Abasilla. Hey, Kenny, just dropped by to say thank you for sharing your story with us here at TFOS. Thank you, Timothy. All right, let's listen to a little bit of the audio from Heritage. I got this from audiobooks.com. Audiobooks.com.
Chapter 2, Part 3, The Long Journey. Heinrich Adam Harmon and his wife Louisa Katrina immigrated to America from Germany with their firstborn son, Adam, in 1726, along with numerous other Moravian settlers who wanted to escape religious persecution. Along the way, on the Isle of Man, their second son, Henry, was born. The family made their way to the New River area of Virginia, and according to a report by surveyors Patton and Buchanan, they were the first permanent white settlers in the territory. In 1752, at the age of 26, Henry was appointed constable of the New River area, a captain of troops of horse, and an overseer of the road. He and his family led the way into the wilderness, and their attitudes towards their way of life are exemplified by the final words spoken by his mother, Louisa Katrina, as she died on March 18, 1749. "My earthly travels are over. I fought a good fight. All men must die, and I must leave. Good night, all my loved ones." Henry Harmon owned land in Tazewell and other counties in southwest Virginia as early as 1754. In 1756, he was commissioned captain of the King's Militia, a title which stuck with him for the rest of his life. Captain Harmon was also dubbed Old Sky Gusty, Great Warrior, by the Indians. In 1758, he married Anna Nancy Williams, and they raised 9 children in the wilderness. Henry Harmon was described by a contemporary as very tall, of massive frame, and very strongly built. In 1787, Captain...
Okay, folks, I'm being told it's about time to wrap it up. Like I said, that audio is available at audiobooks.com. That's for Heritage. I think you'll really enjoy that. And I think you will enjoy all of my books. Heritage and Reflections Part 1 have received multiple 5-star reviews. Early Years is a sequel to Heritage. And if you like Part 1, Reflections Part 1, I know you're going to like Reflections Part 2. Well, I've enjoyed it, folks. It's been great being with the Storytellers during Season 5. And I say goodbye. And thanks to all of you. I hope you enjoy my books. Thank you very much. Should be wrapping up here in just a few seconds. I'll show you these covers once more. I'll show you this photo. This is on the back of Early Years. That's probably my favorite picture of me. I was 17 in that picture. Great weekend to you, Timothy. You winners of the books, remember, go to my website. The email is kharmon6@pldi.net. kharmon6@pldi.net. Now, if you didn't have time to write that down, go to my website and the email address is on there. Send me your address and I will send you a copy of Reflections Part 1.